Hey brewers, check that out. Andy's new Cold IPA. You want to know how to brew your own at home? Keep watching. All right, Andy, so what exactly is a cold IPA?
So what I've brewed here, cold IPA, first time having a go at this. Cold IPA is a standard IPA from a hopping point of view, so it's full of lovely fruity hops and that sort of thing. It's a pretty clean malt bill. We're looking at mostly Pilsner malt in this one, and then it's brewed using a lager yeast, so it's fermented at cooler temperatures. So I think this one was fermented around 12 or 13 degrees. So I used Nova lager yeast on this one, which is a hybrid style yeast, and it gives you a nice clean lager character. So yeah.
Cool. So like an IPA, but fermented like a lager with a really clean grain bill. Adjuncts?
Yeah. Only a bit of flaked rice in this one. I used 1 kilo out of 8 kilos of flaked rice. And we used a little bit of dextrose in the boil as well, just to partly to bring the ABV up, but also to give you that dry finish.
So it's like a light lager, but really amping up the ABV in the end, but still with a really light grain bill, some adjuncts to bump up the
and the normal, well, not normal, but very very highly hopped, to get that strong hop character. So it's really all about the hops. Cool. The end result is supposed to be very little malt character, very little yeast fermentation character, but a lot of hop.
Yeah, cool.
So cryo hops in this one, Citra and Idaho and so on. We can talk more about it, but I guess the point I was just coming back to check was we ended up finishing at a relatively low 1008, so it does have that fairly dry finish, and that's what you get from using the dextrose a bit as well.
That's what we want in the end, isn't it? A dry bit of finish that accentuates the hop bitterness and character.
That's right, yeah. You can see visually it came out nice and clear. It's a couple of weeks in the keg, so it's ended up nice and clear. The head on mine has gone away quite quickly.
Yeah.
I can see you've got a little bit there.
Well, that's going to come from adjuncts, right? Like the more adjuncts, the more of that ABV is coming from sugar, the less you've got of head retention proteins, all those sort of things. So they are going to, they're not going to have as full a head retention as a all grain beer. All right. Let's.
What are you getting on the aroma? So with Citra and Idaho, we're obviously going for those sort of fruity, tropical.
I get a fair bit of pine, citrus, and I get stone fruit.
Yeah, it's quite a nice. It is quite a nice complex aroma. I like that. It's not just a one note. There's a lot of that going on.
CTZ, the Columbus, that's big for the pine. And Citra, of course, those stone fruit, and Idaho as well, stone fruit and citrus character.
So the CTZ was used just for the bittering, mostly because I was trying to get this up into sort of 60, 70. I think it's actually close to 80 IBUs just looking at it there. And obviously I don't want to just fill it with hundreds of grams of hops just to get that bitterness. So I'll use CTZ, which is 15% acid, but then of course when you look at the cryo hops that you're putting in towards the end, they're 23, 25%. Obviously there's not much of those going in either, but they're trying to give you that intense hop character that I found myself wanting to get out of a homebrewed beer that you do get in the very best IPAs when you buy them. And it's tricky sometimes to get that in a homebrewed beer, I've found. This is the closest I've got to that kind of character in an IPA that I've made at home, So I'm pretty happy with it.
Oh, excellent. I do think cryo does give a bit more of that piney character. It lends itself more to that than the T90 pellets. That's just my experience. Just what let's dive in.
We could have a taste, yeah.
Try it out. Yeah, it's excellent.
Yeah, so the bitterness does come through, doesn't it? There's no strong malt character there, but the hop flavour and hop bitterness is really that's the key.
It is.
That's the big.
It's
the
a
big
star
notes.
of the show.
Yeah.
You don't have crystals or anything like that in there. Not even any Munich, just to give it a bit more colour or character. It's just Pilsner.
Just pale, yeah. And then that piney character sort of lingering at the end. It's not overly bitter. I mean, it matches the ABV sort of. I think we said this landed at about 7.5%. So you want a firm bitterness there to sort of balance that.
Yeah.
But the hop flavour is the thing that really lingers, isn't it? There's no fermentation, esters.
No, it's a dry, clean finish for sure. Yeah, and a bit of bitterness on the back end.
Yeah, that slight malt. I mean, it's slight, but the malty sweetness is there, but it's really overpowered. Like as you say, the finish is definitely towards dry and hoppy and bitter. There's there's no malt character to speak of really.
Are you happy with it?
Yeah, really good. It's actually been one that I've bottled it successful as well. I tried a bottle of it last night, and it's held up in a bottle. So it's tricky to. I don't have an elaborate oxygen-free transfer process, but I tried to do the best I can to keep the oxygen out of the bottles. And the one I had, so it's perhaps 3 weeks in the bottle now. It was still holding up very well. So it seems to be a good beer for that as well. But no, this is definitely. It's definitely what I was trying to make. I say the best cold IPAs I've had have been among my favourite beers of recent years. I think it's a really nice style, suits me well, and so it's nice to be able to have one that I can make at home and have that on tap. Yeah,
so you've done well. Yeah, I agree. It's a clean fermentation character. It's a clean grist. And
not much to hide behind there.
It's all about the bitterness and the hops. So you've done well.
Thanks, mate.
Cheers. And if you're into hoppy beers, hoppy lagers, then check out this video in which I go through my process and ingredients for my New Zealand Pilsner.